Hi everyone, this is Killshot 99 Gaming. This is The Walking Dead Season 9, Episode 13 news. The Highwaymen arrive. So I don't know if you want to classify this as spoiler or rumor confirmation. It's out there. There's pictures. So it's not like top secret spoiler stuff. I mean, AMC has given them a name. This is the Highwaymen. And we're going to talk about some spoiler information, how they're going to make their debut, some things that they're going to do in this week's show. So we did kind of skip over them in the spoiler chat a little bit earlier, so this is going to be a continuation of that. But I am going to ask you your opinion of the Highwaymen because I got to get this thing started right out of the gate and let you know. This looks to me like Savior's reboot, based on what I've, some of the early stuff that I've heard about them, their antics and how they go about things, and I'm a little concerned. I have to be completely honest with you. Look, I'm a fan. I've been called Killshot the Walking Dead fanboy. Rarely criticize the show, but do have a right to take a step back and say, why? Why are we bringing out Highwaymen when we're getting ready to go into the fair and the flashback and the border scene and Alpha killing people? What is this? Is this we just pulled a group out and put them out there so we could slow the story down just a little bit? Or do we need these Highwaymen at some point to help fight the war against the Whisperers? Are our groups not strong enough? Those are going to be some of the questions I have. So I'm going to go over some of this week's spoilers, and then you guys can chime in, definitely, and let me know what you think about this brand new storyline. So this is information from Spoiling Dead's fan page. We get a letter. Carol's reading the letter. There's tolls to pay, and it really started with the Kingdom rolling into this movie theater and wanting to get the bulb. So they're kind of trespassing, I guess. But doesn't this seem a little bold that a group owns the highway? I get it. Build your walls and do things like Alexandria has walls, the Kingdom has walls, Hilltop. Separate your stuff. But don't you guys kind of feel like the highway should be open territory, that we shouldn't have a group controlling that area? Let me know what you think about that before we get too far into their story. And they're being called pirates. So they're pirates out there stealing stuff. Lynn Nesvik says it is a bit much. I just don't know I'm ready for it. I mean, in 7, we had this great Negan introduction, and then shortly after that, we really go into meeting the Kingdom, and then we get Oceanside. And I just thought after 7-1, it got a little watered down. I mean, even with Oceanside was not my favorite storyline. Now, there are some good characters in Oceanside, but I'm just going to, as we're talking about the Highwaymen, it seems like they're Oceanside Rollout 2.0, but a reboot of the Saviors. So far, with all the groups and the storylines that we mentioned on The Walking Dead, you guys chime in. Do me a favor. Everybody participate in this. What is the group of people or the potential story that kind of annoyed you the most, didn't think it was developed enough, thought it was filler? Let me read some of your comments. For me, I'm going to say it's Oceanside, by far. I don't even know that we needed an Oceanside. I think we could have just pulled a few characters. And that's not meant to influence your opinion. It's just, if you think it's the Wolves or you think it's Terminus. Jack Carr says the Scavengers. Well, Danny, I would disagree with the Scavengers only because they did betray Rick. People were a resource. Simon was involved in that story. And ultimately, Negan saw the helicopter there, and Jadis kind of whisked Rick away. So the Scavengers, I think, they were developed at least to a degree. Oceanside, not only that, it was Tara and Heath, which are probably two of the least popular characters on the show, had kind of their moments out there. So even the build-up to Oceanside wasn't phenomenal. The only thing I thought was good about Oceanside, and I won't make this completely about it, was the little sand walkers, where we all thought that was a person or a whisperer. They kind of fooled us with their camera tricks. That was the coolest part of Oceanside. And we still don't know what the hell a PPP is. I mean, helicopter probably took Heath away, and maybe it'll show up in the Rick Grimes movie. But, after about 3 years, I'd like to know. I at least want that answered before watching the movie. We got Westwood Chronic. The whole introduce baby Gracie thing. I won't disagree with that. That probably did go a little bit overboard because Rick kills Gracie's dad, and then you got Morales there. Then you got Eric and Aaron. I mean, yeah, that's probably up there as well. And thank you for that super chat. Now you got me thinking. So, I know it's too early to tell, but how many people feel that the Highwaymen are going to be in that category? I mean, I don't feel like the Highwaymen are up there with the Kingdom. I feel like we're going to be telling this Highwaymen story during probably the best opportunity for the Whisperers to do some evil deeds on their way. Find a couple people, just show the ruthlessness. So here's my challenge. Like I said, it is way too early to tell, but I like to be out in front of theories. I like to kind of get the conversation happening. I'm going to tell you what they're going to do this week, and there's probably going to be a lot of you guys watching paint dry, but that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and tell you anyway. And then afterwards, I'm going to draw a comparison of the Highwaymen versus the Whisperers. Okay? So this is a quote from Spoiling Dead's fan page. Talia Faisal says maybe they're undercut. They're not. They're not Whisperers. This is a quote from Spoiling Dead's fan page. It says, they're basically pirates, and in some ways, they're similar to the Saviors. They steal people's stuff and demand ransom for allowing people to pass on their roads. So they demand a ransom from the Kingdom, but the Kingdom has nothing to give them. Now, what kind of kingdom? It's time for Ezekiel to change their name. A poor kingdom? That's... I don't think it's quite an oxymoron, but it definitely is not what you think of when you think of a kingdom. It's as close to being an oxymoron without actually being an oxymoron as you can get. So instead, Ezekiel barters and makes a deal. Here's the deal. The Kingdom hires the Highwaymen to protect the roads leading to the fair, and in return, they'll be given access to the fair. So... All right, there's a couple parts with this that just I don't like, okay? There's a lot of posturing back and forth. The Highwaymen do pull their guns on them, but they don't seem like killers. Diane does make a point to mention later on that they could have killed her and Jerry, but they didn't. So here's a couple things. One, we're going to get Jerry out on a road with a gun pulled on him. Flashback to Simon, where Simon pulled Maggie over and we thought Jerry was going to die, so now we're recycling that storyline. My question is, and this is the problem I have with this. All right. Are you guys going to invite known thieves over to eat at your house on Thanksgiving dinner? I know that's rhetorical as hell, right? You're not. So here's a group of pirates, and you don't have anything to pay them, but you're going to invite them to the fair where they can just steal everything in the fair. That's a problem. That's not good for long-term business as far as I'm concerned. Why not take some of your trade goods and say, hey, we got this fair going on, and we'll give you a cut. We'll give you 10% of whatever we sell. We've made some nice bird baths, so you guys, want that. But you don't invite them in because these guys are looters and they're, apparently, what are they going to do at the fair? They're just going to walk around and browse? No. They're trouble. So instead of giving them your stuff, you're going to invite them in so they can steal everybody's stuff. Doesn't seem like a good situation. Westwood Chronic says, and everything was going so well. So, I don't know. See, Amber Gray, that question I don't. We don't know how many there are. So, based on that little bit of knowledge, if you have the opportunity, and I'll say it once again, it's way too early to tell 100%. But I feel like we're going to look back on this and say, could we have just X'd these people out and not even brought their story and had episode 13 be Alpha's trip to the fair where she was killing people and finding people, and, maybe Luke and Alden went out in a field to practice their vocals and Alpha got there and killed them. So if you guys have a choice based on what you know at this point, Highwaymen or another episode of The Whispers, which would you choose? I'm being dragged into another story that they're going to force on me because either these guys are going to be bad news. Now, to get to the point a little bit early, do I think they're undercover Whispers? No. But could they side with the Whispers? Yes. So there's going to be probably one of three scenarios that play out. One, the Whispers are going to attack at the fair, and the Highwaymen just happen to be there to help, and they'll become allies in the future. It's a possibility. I don't think we need that. We could have just introduced their characters and assumed that they were already there and they were part of Alexander or somewhere else. Number two, they're basically going to do nothing to add to the story. Or number three, they're going to turn on the group. Now, I tend to think they're not going to turn on the group because I already think the group is outnumbered. So if I had to pick one of those scenarios, I'm going to say the Highwaymen are going to be an asset. Would you agree with that? Do you agree that because they are bartering, because Ezekiel can communicate with them, that ultimately they're going to be somebody that we can trust or somebody that will help? Right? I mean, otherwise, like Diane and Jerry said, they had a chance to kill him, but they didn't. So if they were going to do that, they probably would have done it already. But the problem is this. It could have been Oceanside too, right? I mean, Oceanside were pretty much an ally, and look how boring as hell they were. So now, Julie McGuire, it's a great question. Will the Highwaymen be around long term? Angie, I don't disagree with that. And in fact, I do agree with what you're saying. Her super chat says, our people need more people. But do we need another group, is my question. Could we not have just gotten a little backstory? Could these people not have already been written in, and we see some dude walking around Kingdom with a cowboy hat, and we're probably like, who's that dude? And he's probably got some Slim Jim or some beef jerky, and he's got a knife, and he's making a spear by a fire. He's kind of, well, let me tell you about my story when I was a highwayman. And we can get 5 minutes of that crap, and we don't have to go through a whole wasted episode. I used to roam the streets, and Ezekiel found me, and I made a deal, and blah, 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 blah. So, yes, we need more people, but do we have to bring in another Oceanside in order to get more people, is what I'm saying. Because I don't see in episode 10, we're all going to be high-fiving saying, yeah, oh, thank God, we got the Highwayman. I'm so glad that group came in. I don't think so. Look, I like myself some John Dory on Fear of the Walking Dead. And I like the fact that he's a cowboy, and I like the fact that he can shoot. But I didn't need 10 John Dorys out there and to go through their story, because I was okay with just getting the backstory piece by piece. So this to me feels like a watered-down backstory that is not going to carry a lot of weight. As I've said, what gives them the right to the roads? What gives them the right to overpower the kingdom? Why is the kingdom not, they're doing these deals behind the scenes. They're putting Ezekiel in a prince and the pauper situation where he's not the king, he's a beggar, and he doesn't have anything to offer, so he's got to offer access to his kingdom. Let's open up the gates of the kingdom to you. Come on in. Eat, drink. Well, you can't eat. We don't have anything. Can't drink. We don't have anything. Can't give you my bird bath, but you can walk around and loot anything that you want to loot. Make yourself at home. Just not congruent in my mind. Well, Gina, it's not just... well, I disagree. Kid Rock was a cowboy, and he was pretty good. But I don't think it's just this guy. I mean, there's Highwaymen, not the Highwayman. So maybe there's 10, maybe there's 15, whatever. But half of this week's episode tied to the Highwaymen, I'm just raise your hand if you're excited about this story. I'm not. The Saviors, I didn't like them, but I was excited about them. The Whisperers, I don't like them, but I'm excited about them. So, we're going to get as much... Well, okay, great point. Tala Faisal says maybe the Highwaymen get their heads on pikes. Maybe they do. Then you just wasted half of episode 13 killing people that I don't really care about. I would rather Alpha be killing people that I care about. Because here's the problem. Now we have only 2 episodes left, everybody. 2 episodes. To really get into the Whispered Darkness. To really get into the Pikes. The Pike scene might not even make that much sense now. And the fair may be watered down as well. That's my concern. Is that they're not going to maximize this fair. And these killings are going to be too fast. And... it seems like a lot of stuff that has to go down. I got a couple super chats here. So first one, Ben Stevenson says, just like Oceanside gave the story a source for new characters and an armory of guns and allies against the Savior, etc., the Highwaymen are going to provide more than just security for the fair, like Pike victims, fighters in the Whisper War, which we will need after the big loss of life coming. Okay, fair enough. Very fair. Maybe. If all of that is developed, sure. Not going to disagree. But I will push back slightly, only because it's episode 13. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that the writers just pulled this story out of their hats and threw it. I think the timing of it is awkward. The build-up is, in my mind, it's been excessive. There are a couple of things that I think were overdone so far. I'm on record of saying this is one of the best Walking Dead seasons for the first half. But here's the second half. A very, very long Alpha backstory. A very, very long jail scene with Lydia and Henry that ultimately culminated with eating worms. And very little action until the very end. And now my concern is that now we're going to get Highwaymen that's going to be 50 to 60% of this week's episode. And we barely gotten to know the Whispers. And maybe the comic fans can help me out a little bit more with this. Up to the fair, before the fair, did you feel like you had a better understanding of the Whispers than those just watching the TV show do now? I'm aware of the Whispers. I'm aware of who Alpha is. And I know that the fair was a turning point, but wasn't there a little bit more, wasn't the comic kind of about them a little bit more? Like, maybe 10 issues, several months worth of knowing who they are. And we've gotten basically an episode and a half, if even. So we got this backstory. I get it. But it's feeling a little rushed. And on top of that, Westwood Chronic says, why couldn't they spend more time developing Judith and other established characters? Not excited about this. Bingo. Why can't we get an RJ scene where he's not sleeping in a bed? So, look, don't get me wrong. It's not just the Highwaymen. I think my frustration is that the Highwaymen are taking away from other things that I need. And that's why I said it's watered down. And I felt like that happened with Oceanside as well. That there were some other things. Look, we got all these actors. We got all these wonderful people that we can get a storyline in. We've got Negan sitting in a jail cell, for crying out loud, half of the season, and these Highwaymen are going to get as much airtime as Negan. Stop it, Chris. Just stop it. Yeah, see, Cammie, I'm okay with the X's. In fact, that's one of the things that I'm looking forward to. I've been looking forward to 14 for a while. But I just got to say, like, if Alpha is on her way to the fair, why not take out a few from Tara's group? I mean, you got Earl, you got Tammy, you got Kelly, you got Tara, you got a few people, and one thing about The Walking Dead you always know, they'll always split up. So that wouldn't be too hard. All you'd have to do with, like, Tara's group, they're moving along, just throw a rock in one direction and then throw another rock in the other direction, and then somebody's going to say, hey, 2 rocks. You 2 go that way, you 2 go this way, and the rest of us will stay here. And then bam, you got a 20-on-2 combination kill right there. So you could have Alpha over there. No worries, Sherry, you're good. Thank you. Now, on top of that, other than the decapitation scene so far, Alpha pulling out the shotgun right there. Trail stops here, boys. But no kaboom. No kaboom. Hype, but nothing. Then, she gives the nod. If a mother can't quiet her daughter, the walkers will. Look, I was not cheering for the walkers to eat the baby, but I'm just saying, close call, nothing happened. Henry's introduction to Beta. So this is what you got so far. All right. I hate to break it down this way because I know I'm getting off topic with the Highwaymen. Can you guys give me a rough estimate of how many Whisperers you think there are? Just a rough estimate. $75? Okay, fair enough. 75, 200, I get you. You telling me, let's say 100. 100's a nice round number, okay? Just 100 is good. In 100 whisperers, the only kill that you can manufacture is killing 2 of your own. You got to be kidding me. You know, you don't kill Luke. You don't kill Alden. They better die in the middle of singing "We Are the Champions" at the fair. It better go down like that, because if you kept them alive when she had a chance to do something like just dastardly at that point, what a waste. No kills there. So keeping them there needs to be like trumpet, sirens, anything you can think of. It better be Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper Shallow style, and then right in the middle of it. Tell me something, Alden. Boom. Done. I want to see him gone, because that was a wasted opportunity. And then, hold on. The next thing, you got little Henry come in, and Beta's introduction, you just toss him on your shoulder and take him back. And he says, so if Henry's a threat, I'm just being honest here, why not break Henry in a bunch of little pieces and say, here, you guys can find him. Don't take him back to your camp, for the love of God, man. You know that's a problem. Everybody knew. This should have been a Henry rant. And 100 whispers can't kill some little kid? Okay. And then it's like, Beta, we got to watch out. More people are going to be after us. Duh. You kept him alive. That's why. And then instead of that, you say, I think the girl really likes him. Well, Beta, we're just going to have to let her kill it. What? Come on. Don't do that. And then all of them escape. You've got all these Whisperers, the most vile, evil group in the history of The Walking Dead, and you can't kill Alden Henry or Alden Henry and Luke. There's a problem here. Negan had no trouble killing Glenn and Abraham. The Walking Dead lost their huevos. Look, I don't like that Negan killed Glenn and Abraham, but if this is your introduction of who's going to be more evil than the saviors, no. Negan killed Glenn and Abraham. Alpha and Beta can't even kill Henry, Alden, and Luke, the 3 weakest characters on the show. Oh, my Lord. And this week, you want to top it off? Okay, maybe you get redemption. Maybe you get redemption. If Beta, look, you're going to get this moment with Beta. You saw the spoiler pics where he's reaching down, holding the hand. I will save you, brother. I got your back. And then Beta storms in, and Daryl doesn't shoot Beta, but he shoots all the walkers around Beta. I'm cool with that. They get to their choke point. So, okay, Beta couldn't kill Henry. Alpha can only kill 2 of her own people. Now it's time for revenge. So, got to kill Daryl, right? I mean, that makes up for all the other episodes. Beta's got to come in. He's got to kill Daryl. No. Beta cannot kill. This is round 2. Beta cannot kill Henry the second time, Lydia the second time, Connie, the dog, or Daryl, and he gets his big ass shoved down an elevator shaft. Strike 2. And you got me watching the Highwaymen. The Highwaymen. You're giving me a backstory about the highway. We don't. Who super chatted earlier and said our group needs more people? We don't need more people. All we need is an elevator shaft to shove all the Whisperers down the elevator shaft. We got more than enough. Whisperers can't kill anybody. We got twice. All we need is Henry, because apparently you can't kill Henry. the most evil. It just makes me, all the actors coming out saying, oh man, wait until you see them. It is vile. It is evil. It is dark. When? Season 10? Because that's the pace we're going. All right, we got Westwood Chronic Super Chat says, the guys from Terminus are far worse than this version of the Whispers. So far. But you know what everybody keeps saying? Hold on. No, wait till the border scene. Wait till the Pikes. Yeah, I am waiting for them. And it'll happen in 15. There's no doubt in my mind. It will happen in 15. And it'll be bad. And we'll say, yeah. But you know what? It's like watching your team not score a touchdown for 3.5 quarters and then score a touchdown at the very end. It's like, even the halftime show sucked. And we watched 3 hours of this. But yeah, you finally came through. Thanks for giving us the Highwaymen. Now we need the Highwaymen because, oh, you're evil now. You could have killed Luke. You could have killed Luke and left Alden gagged, and they said, and Daryl walked out and said, "Where's the other one?" We lost him. He ran away. Don't know where he went, but we're going to trade you 1 for 1. Alpha gave 2 back. And now I have to watch the Highwaymen. So now I'm waiting to see something in episode 15. And you know what I have to do? I got to watch the Highwaymen cut a deal to get to the fair. And there's not even a cliffhanger for the fair. There's Beta in an elevator shaft. And then, at least if you hype up the fair, and then I got to wait 2 weeks for the flashback and Michonne's scars and everything, then I'm going to be like, oh man, so what are we going to do 15? It's going to be like, Beta's alive. So did they expect us for 2 weeks to really think Beta was dead? No. You know what? I'm taking a breath. I just got to let it process. Look, it's not the worst decisions ever been made. I'm catching up on a couple of your comments. Right. Okay, it's not a garbage truck. It's not a dumpster. Fine. And with that, that's my Highwaymen. I should have titled Highwaymen Rant because I love to rant about The Walking Dead every once in a while. And the other thing is, because I do these live streams and I love to read your comments, occasionally I get challenged and some people will say, well, why do you take 10 seconds between every comment? Speed it up. It's like, dude, I could be a freaking Walking Dead auctioneer if I wanted to. So it's a lot of times it's people that come into our streams and they don't realize it's real-time interaction. It's not just me kind of going on a rampage and telling. But every once in a while, you do have to go on a ranting rampage. And that's what today is about. Now, I reserve the right in 6 months in season 10 to say, man, thank God we got those Highwaymen. They're some badass people. And it's John Dory Part 2. But if you really want to get me interested in the Highwaymen, make one of them John Dory. Because then the Walking Dead universe goes nuts. That's what we need. If one of them, just remotely looks like him, maybe John Dory with a little bit of gray, just to give us something talking about, like, I knew it. I knew Fear the Walking Dead. He was going to get up there after the second time skip. That's something we could wrap our arms around. But if you're going to introduce me to a whole bunch of new characters when I don't even really know Beta yet, this guy with a cowboy hat, And check this out. We might know more about this guy with the cowboy hat on episode 15 than we know about Beta. That's going to be a problem. All right, everybody. So, question for the group, and I appreciate everybody watching and participating, and hopefully I gave you a good laugh today. But the question, this week's episode, I can't even ask this seriously now. What part of the Walking Dead Highwaymen storyline are you most looking forward to in this week's episode? Leave your thoughts and comments. And those of you just arriving, get back and watch the playback and check out the comments, because some very good comments and very good super chats. None. I've completely diverted the Walking Dead universe. And the problem is going to be is if they come out to be fairly good characters, then I'm going to be the one looking back on this saying, wow, I really lowered the bar. So at least I lowered the bar. So if they are even slightly good, then we'll, I guess, revisit it, revamp it, and change our viewpoint. There you go, Westwood. I just want to see which one. Like, if there's 10 Highwaymen, if they're going to be true to character, one of them's got to have, like one of those leather cowboy overcoat things. One of them's got to be walking around like sticking things in his coat. I mean, he's a pirate. They steal things. If he gets into the fair, he's gonna be like taking down their flags. It's like, yeah, you guys won't need this. There won't be another fair after this one. I might need one of these flags as a marker. And actually, it'd probably be better than the paint. So, just a little bit of the little flutter flag things. All right, everybody, we're going to wind this thing down. We did have a couple spoilers in today's stream, so I want to thank each and every one of you being here. If you guys can do me a favor, make sure to, I don't know. I was going to come up with some clever highwayman saying as a code to hit the like button. So I'm going to challenge the 999 Army right now. Any cool catchphrases you guys can think of for the Highwaymen where I can tell people to hit the like button? Somebody's got to have some creativity there. Steve Smitherman, what's going on? Thanks for giving us an outlet. 999 Army. Pirate the like button? Okay. Not bad, Mariah. We'll go with that for now unless there's anything that can kind of trump that or one-up that. Highway to Pikeville. Hit the highway. Oh, there you go. I love it. Hit the highway, everybody. That's. I can always count on Julie McGuire. All right, everybody. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to hit the highway. I will talk to you all at 3 o'clock on the 999 Dead channel. We're going to be revamping, or we're going to be talking about some of the spoilers we talked about a little bit earlier, but it'll be, could be a rant. Who knows? Show up at 999 Dead at 3 p.m., and we'll see what happens. And then tonight at 6 o'clock, we will be right back here. It'll be about a 30-minute stream because there's no way I'm going to be late for Captain Marvel. So 3 o'clock at 999 Dead and back here at 6 o'clock. And hopefully you guys have a wonderful Friday afternoon. Thanks, Ben Stevenson. Hitchhike the like button. So we will all hit the highway right now. Thanks, everybody. Talk to you soon. Peace.